sucks. Shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. It's a lot of bad football. A lot of bad football.
After this performance, do you remain confident after all the, quote, and to use your words, bad football that was put on display tonight?
Yeah, I'm still confident, but it's no secret the clock's ticking, you know. Gotta have some urgency now.
Okay, Bills Mafia drinks free. A forlorn Josh Allen. Been some tough press conferences for Josh this season. 5-5. Would have hoped the urgency might have kicked in a little earlier than 5-5. He struggled, and he was one of the stories. But to me, Matthew, certainly one of the biggest stories was Stefon Diggs, and just doing largely nothing, going 3 for 34 and not cracking the fantasy leaders in this matchup. This is the top 10 performers fantasy-wise in Bills Broncos, and Stefon Diggs, nowhere to be seen. Fewer points than some of the fantasy superstars of the world, such as Samaje Perine and Latavius Murray.
Yeah, this is a super annoying game for about 8 billion reasons. I'm in 3 guillotine leagues. Actually, I'm in 4, but I've already been eliminated in one of them. So I was in 3. I was in 3, and in one league, I needed 24 points from Josh Allen to beat Stephen D'Agostino.
Yeah.
And in another league, I was up 22. And the guy behind me had Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs. And Diggs was just having this bad game all the way. I'm like, well, I got a shot at that one.
Yeah.
And anyway, Diggs and Allen combined for just enough points to get me eliminated in that one. But Allen, of course, didn't have enough points to keep me alive.
It's the
and
worst.
so Steven, very, very brutal. I completely blame Denny Carter, who told me Deontay Johnson was going to have a huge game.
Yep.
Just so you know.
Ultimately, I don't think.
And not Travis Etienne, who also did nothing for my team.
Did nothing, absolutely nothing. Look, I don't think there's anything you can really do around Allen and Diggs. You're just starting those guys every week. They will turn it around with their new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, of course. They fired the offensive coordinator. Everything's
the problem.
fine now. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's things are not good. But, yeah, I mean, right. And Trayvon Diggs is tweeting about how getting Stefon out of there. Like, it's going to be a fun week in Buffalo. There's Trayvon's tweet, man, 14, got to get up out of there.
Why?
With crying emojis for those that are just listening. And then he goes, let's not forget, he didn't start going off till bro got there. That's a shot at Josh
man.
Allen.
You ain't got to do it, man. Listen, Stefon, I know they're brothers, man. Stefon Diggs is a grown-ass man. Let him handle what he got to handle with his quarterback. What Trayvon is doing is creating drama. He knows that we're going to play this.
That's right.
He knows all the outlets are going to post this,
Right.
post them tweets, man.
Yeah.
Get your knee right and play, get back to being the player we know you can, and let your brother and his quarterback work out what they got to work out.
Yeah, you know what that is? That is hashtag not helpful.
Because he ain't playing for Dallas. Stefon Diggs is never going to go play for the Cowboys, and maybe when he like 36 or something.
Yeah,
Not now.
Sense. That makes sense. But I agree with you, Jay, from a fantasy standpoint. Very frustrating day at the office. Give credit to the Broncos defense who played well. Again, they slowed down the Chiefs before the bye as well. The Broncos are playing defense like, candidly, we all expected them to at the beginning of the season. So it's bad day at the office for Allen and Diggs. What are you going to do? Also, same for Gabe Davis. That is what it is. I mean, like with Gabe Davis, you either always start him or never start him as well. I think if there was one positive in a game in which the Bills' offense clearly, starts and stops, Dalton Kincaid continues to produce. He's now had 15 or more fantasy points in 4 straight. He's the 5th best tight end in fantasy over the last month as well. Allen obviously trusts him when they get in close. He's got a 24% target share, this kid.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a locked-in tight end one. Allen seems to have that rapport to him. And the good thing is that he's made mistakes, and Allen keeps on going back to him. So he's a no-brainer start every week. A little bit less of a no-brainer, Lawrence. James Cook, who was up and down, got benched after the fumble on the first play, and then he comes back in, fumbles again, but it's like an Australian rules football bounce, comes back to him, sprints down the field. What are you expecting from Cook going forward?
Going forward, well, Leonard Fournette is coming. He himself sent out a tweet that was like, my time is coming, and I think it is. I think they'll look for a little more explosiveness in Leonard Fournette as opposed to Latavius Murray. I think he could come and get that role. So James Cook, his fantasy value obviously won't die because we see he could still make a breakaway run and catch his own fumble. So you just have to temper maybe the expectations going forward with Leonard Fournette coming.
That play right there where he ran, he got stripped of the ball bounces right back into his hands, and then he keeps running, was Ken Dorsey's best call I thought, of the game as well. Other side of the ball, yeah, I mean, again, Latavius Murray, we'll see when Fournette, and we'll talk about that when that actually happens, but it feels like it's going to be more of a three-headed committee.
Yeah.
Cook, as great as this game was about Cook, he still finishes as running back 23. He's still fumbling. He's still not getting red zone carries. He's gotten less than 30% of the red zone carries for the Bills this season. Maybe a new offense coordinator gets him more involved, but he's merely a high-end flex, low-end RB2 as well. Other side of the ball, we talked about Russell Wilson in waivers. To me, you don't love the wide receivers, but if you have to pick a Broncos one, it is Courtland Sutton, who has now scored a touchdown. He's Mr. Touchdown. He's scored in 7 of the 9 games they played so far this year as well. Not getting a ton of yardage, Lawrence, but you prefer him over Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, 100%. And just real quick on Javonte Williams, he's getting going, right? Matthew, you said on Fantasy Football pregame that he'd be a top 10 running back. He was RB5, so he's looking. Yeah, there you go. You caught that shot. We give credit there. Javonte Williams is on his way.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.